Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. As you know, this is Butler County Philanthropy Day, and we're so glad to see all of you here. This is a great day. My name is Betsy Hope, and this is Catherine Hollins, and we are the co-chairs of this year's event. It's our pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the committee members, our 6 community foundations in Butler County, and the Butler County Development Roundtable. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate giving in our community. Philanthropy is a Greek word meaning loving mankind. As you will see here today, philanthropy is alive and well in Butler County. As you look around, you will see many living examples right here in this room. Created by the organization, the Association of Fundraising Professionals in 1986, National Philanthropy Day was first declared on November 15th, that year with a proclamation by President Ronald Reagan. On this special day across the country, many are doing what we are doing right now, recognizing and paying tribute to the impact of philanthropy and those people active in the philanthropic community and their contributions to our lives, our communities, and our world. The celebration was brought here in 2006. The Butler County Development Roundtable, a devoted group of fundraising professionals, joined with our 6 community foundations to honor the incredible generosity in our local community. Would the representatives of each of these organizations please rise and be recognized as your group's name is called, and please hold your applause until I announce them all. Butler County Development Roundtable. Mitchell. The Community Foundation of Westchester Liberty. Fairfield Community Foundation. Okay, right here and over here. Hamilton Community Foundation. Middletown Community Foundation. Monroe Area Community Foundation. Oxford Community Foundation. Right here. And right here.
Yeah, right.
Now, please join me in thanking these local leaders in philanthropy.
Thank you so much for coming today. I'm the Executive Director of the Oxford Community Foundation, and this is my first year in helping co-chair this event, and I have to say it has been a privilege to work with all of these wonderful people and to be part of the Butler County Development Roundtable. We also want to recognize and give special appreciation to our generous luncheon sponsors. Our gold-level sponsors this year are Kramer & Associates, First Financial Bank, Mercy Health Fairfield Hospital, Miami University Oxford, Miami University Regionals. Our silver level sponsors are AK Steel, the Atrium Foundation, Bridgewater Falls Lifestyle Shopping Center, McCullough Hyde Memorial Hospital, and US Bank. Thank you for all of them for making this event possible. I'm also privileged to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, who's going to take over for the remainder of the luncheon, Mr. John Lomax. John's been doing this for Butler County for about 15 years, is that correct? Yes, and we really thank you so much for your dedication to this event. John, as you all know, is the co-anchor of Cincinnati, Good Morning Cincinnati on TV 12, which is WKRC. He's a Knoxville native, earned his bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Tennessee, and 2 years into his graduate coursework in communications, he was hired full-time by WTVK-TV in Knoxville, now known by the call letters WVLT. From that point on, he was, as he says, hooked on journalism, and in June of 1983, he was hired by Local 12 as Northern Kentucky Bureau reporter, and he's been in our living rooms ever since. John is also very active in giving back to the communities. He's involved in community activities. He's volunteered and served on boards of many Cincinnati area organizations and charities. Please join me in welcoming John Lomax.
All right, thank you, Catherine. I'm so happy to be here today. You saw what just happened here. Is that every time I come to Butler County, I get hugs. People are just so nice. Part of the reason is over the course of the past decade and a half of coming here to Butler County, I've just been treated so warmly. It's a phenomenon. I don't really know why. I live in northern Kentucky. I work largely in Cincinnati. But I've come up and people in this area have embraced me and they keep asking me back, so I haven't embarrassed myself too badly. And I see so many familiar faces here, and I just feel comfortable being with you, and I hope that you feel comfortable being with me. I know with at least a few of you do. I've had a couple of different people tell me they've already found houses for me in the area, and they're ready for me to move. So it's just so wonderful to be here, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this today. Today, people from nearly 50 organizations have chosen to join us to celebrate giving in Butler County. These organizations selected their own honorees in appreciation of their selfless donations of time, talent, and treasure that so very positively impact our communities. Those honorees are listed in your printed programs, and their names are rotating on the screen, which is right above me right here. Will all of today's honorees just stand up so that we can see you and we can recognize you? Just stand up. All of the honorees. All right, give them a big hand. You know, part of what makes philanthropy so special is that it is voluntary giving. A caring heart compels one to lend a helping hand to make life just a little easier for someone else, to leave our communities a little bit better than we found them. No one is forced to be a philanthropist. An ancient Greek proverb tells us when a person plants a tree under which he will never sit, then you know that civilization has come to that land. We thank you for planting those trees in our community. In recognition of your contributions, the proceeds from each year's luncheon are donated in the names of each of that year's honorees to a community giving fund housed at the Hamilton Community Foundation. At some point in the future, those who have been selected as past Butler County National Philanthropy Day honorees will have an opportunity to help determine how those charitable dollars are spent to benefit our area. And now, please join me in welcoming my East Tennessee sister, Fran Sack, who's going to lead us in our invocation. You know, I'm close to all of you. I'm particularly close to Fran. We found out, I happen to mention I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and so she says, oh, I'm from Knoxville. And over the years we talked, and we grew up less than 2 miles away from each other. I never knew it. This is my sister. All right? Come on up, Fran.
Thanks, Brother John. Couple of housekeeping. If you would, silence your phones, number one, if they haven't already been silenced. Number two, and before I say grace, on behalf of the Butler County Development Roundtable, we would like to recognize the veterans who are in attendance, and thank you for your service in helping us have the country that we have. If you would you please stand up or raise your hand if that is not able, if you're a veteran. Thank you. All right, please bow your heads. Dear God, we have gathered today to honor the joyful givers in our communities and to thank them for the generosity that have made a difference in many lives that have been touched by their giving and sharing of their wealth of time, talent, and treasure. Please continue to bless those businesses and individuals that support the noble causes that help our communities become better places to live, work, and enjoy our family and friends. God, Continue to give our government and military leaders wisdom and guidance as they lead this nation during challenging times. Keep them safe and bring them home to their waiting families. And bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. Bless the people who have prepared it. Bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, for we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
I have the distinct pleasure now of introducing to you your keynote speaker, one of my best buds, Cammie Dearking. As you know, Cammie is a WKRC TV evening news anchor, born and raised right here in Cincinnati with her 4 beautiful sisters. I mean, you line up the 5 of them, you go, wow, I know they have the same parents. And her 2 loving, wonderful, athletic parents. Among the many values her family instilled in her was the importance of giving back to the community. She has volunteered just tremendously over the course of her life, hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours. She serves as honorary chair and spokesperson for a number of charity running, walking, bicycle, and golf events, including a Race for the Cure, the MS Bike Ride, Arthritis Walk, Heart Mini Marathon, JDRF Walk for a Cure, JDRF Ride for a Cure, Hike for Hospice, Thanksgiving Day for Ronald McDonald House, and the Ride for Breast Cancer. And let me add just one other personal note, something that comes from my heart, and that is Cammie is one of the most, no, check that, she is the most positive person I have ever known in my life. She is somebody, not just her, but her family, her husband, her girls. I have her girls' pictures on my bulletin board. Her sisters, her dad. These are people who I love, and I don't throw that word around lightly. I absolutely love these people the way I love my own family. And she is just very, very special to me. And I know that she will be very, very special to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Cammie Dearking.
I hope you don't mind, but I don't, oops, sorry, hold on. My bad. I'm not good at standing still, so I hope you don't mind if I stand out here. Is that okay with all of you? Great. Hi, everybody. Hi. I am so excited to be here today for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that I get to hang out with my buddy, John Lomax. And you know, John and I worked together on Good Morning Cincinnati for 13 years. Do you remember when we were together? Yes. And I have to tell you, and I'm very sincere, 13 of the best years of my life, largely because of John. John always liked to say that we were joined at the hip because we were together for hours every day. And in 13 years, we had so much fun, and there was never a cross word between us, not even the slightest bit of an argument. So you know what? I look at it like this. We did better than a lot of married couples for 13 years, right? And I will tell John right back at you what you said to me. He is the most positive, most caring, kind, funny, fun, wise, very wise, and philanthropic people that I know. And his list of places and people that he's helped, many of you in this room, is very long. So thank you for that wonderful introduction, and I love you. It's an honor to be here with John today. I'm also excited to be here because this is my old stomping grounds. I went to Miami University. Go Oxford, go Redskins. I lived right here in Fairfield, right down the street. I think the apartments used to be called Lake Lamont, right out of college. And I worked at 1450 WMOH, the voice of Butler County, for many years. That's how I got my broadcasting start. So this is kind of home for me, and it's great to be here with all of you today. I'm also excited to be here because I get to talk about something that is so important in my life, and I'm guessing it is for all of you, or you wouldn't be here today, and that is giving back, the importance of giving back. And as John mentioned, I was raised by wonderful parents who always taught us that for those to whom much is given, much is expected. Probably all of you were too. And I appreciate that so much. And so when I was young, we did things like adopt a family during the holidays and those sorts of things. And we did them because Mom said so, but also because, it felt good to help other people. But I'm going to be honest with you, when I was young, I didn't really understand the deep meaning and the importance of giving back. I just did it because Mom said it was the right thing to do. And then I got older and I started this wonderful TV career. And as John will tell you, as TV news anchors, we are asked to take part in a lot of different things in the community for nonprofits and for charities, which we do because we really enjoy it and we love it. And we feel like we're making a little bit of a difference, and that's great. We love to help people, but also it's kind of part of our jobs. We are ambassadors for the TV station, and we want to be good community partners. And frankly, it's also good for us, because if we come and do an event like this and you kind of like us, you think, hey, well, maybe I'll watch them on TV, and so that ultimately is good for the ratings, right? So, we do things like that for all those reasons. But again, I don't think until recently I really understood the deeper meaning and the importance of giving back and of helping others. And I had, I guess I'll call it like an epiphany, or maybe a moment of clarity or something, a couple of years ago that really taught me a lesson and helped me to understand that deeper meaning. And it came from a most unlikely source, my husband, John. And I say that not because he's not a nice guy, he is, but he's not one of those touchy-feely, warm and fuzzy kind of guys. He's a macho guy, he's a man's man. But he taught me a lesson, which I'll share with you in a moment. But first, I gotta give you a little bit of background. How many of you have heard of the sport of triathlon? Yes, most of you, that's great. So have you heard of an Ironman triathlon? Most of you? Awesome. Okay, for those who don't know, a triathlon is simply a swim, bike, and run. And there are lots of distances. You can do a sprint distance, which is kind of the short one, up to international distance, Olympic distance, half Ironman, and then the granddaddy of them all, the Ironman. Maybe you've watched it on TV. They have the championships. In fact, tomorrow at 4:30 on NBC, which I shouldn't promote, but I am because I love Ironman. Wrong network. But anyway, that's the championships that are held in Hawaii every year, right? But there are Ironman competitions held all over the world. And so here's what an Ironman is. It's a 2.4-mile swim, followed by a 112-mile bike ride, followed by a 26.2-mile run, a marathon. Okay, just try to wrap your mind around that. A 2.4-mile swim, then you get out of the water and do a 112-mile bike ride, and then you get off the bike with those wobbly legs and you do a full marathon, 26.2 miles. But here's the key. You have to do it in under 17 hours to get your medal and be considered an Ironman. I'm so proud to tell you that I have competed in 3 Ironmans, and I finished 2 of them. And just to prove it, and because, frankly, I think I've earned the right to brag, here's my medal from Ironman Louisville oh, stop now. Okay, thanks. This is from 2007, Ironman Louisville, which I finished in 15 hours and 40 minutes. And then in 2010, I did Ironman Coeur d'Alene in Idaho, which I finished in 16 hours and 41 minutes. So I only had 19 minutes to spare. And I would love to stand here and tell you all about those Ironmans and how I overcame all these obstacles and how amazing it was. And I want to tell you about the finish line, but I'm not going to. Today I want to tell you about the one I didn't finish. So in 2011, I signed up for another Ironman Louisville because, it's close to home and I could get my family and friends to be there. And I'd already done it once and I thought, I'm going to do it again. And I had just turned 50. So I did it because I thought, I got to prove to myself that I still got it, right? And my husband signed up for this one too, which shocked me because he did the first Louisville Ironman with me in 2007. And immediately after crossing the finish line, he said, I will never do that again. His problem was he would get anxiety attacks in the open water. Because guess where we swam in Louisville? Yeah, the Ohio River. Yeah. But I was a collegiate swimmer, so that was my thing. That didn't bother me. And my husband's a great athlete. I mean, he's a stud. He's done the Boston Marathon and everything, but swimming is not his thing. But he signed up for it. I guess it's an ego thing. You know, you guys think, oh, if my wife's going to do it, I guess I got to do it, or whatever his reason. I don't know. So he signed up, and okay, great. Now, I got to tell you, I had no business doing this third Ironman, because physically, I was a mess. When I was young, I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed at age 10. So I had a lot of problems growing up with stability in my joints, tons of surgeries on my knees, and just, you know, a mess. Well, it evolved into osteoarthritis. Do we have any osteo folks in the audience? Whoop, whoop, yeah. And anyway, so I have joint problems, and in 2005, I had my first total knee replacement, so titanium. I had my second one done in 2011, after that third Ironman. It was already on the books. I was planning to do it, because it was grinding bone on bone. I had a torn meniscus, and here I am training for an Ironman through all this. And my leg would swell up so big, and when the swelling has nowhere to go, it pushes to the back and it forms these Baker cysts. Have you ever heard of that? It's like a big ball of tissue and fluid, and big as a grapefruit. And I got 2 of those, and they burst. The fluid goes south, then your ankle swells up like a soccer ball. Doesn't this sound lovely? And then I'd be on crutches for 3 to 4 weeks, and I'm still training for Ironman through all this. I was a mess. I had no business doing it, but I thought, hey, I've paid my money. I'm going down there. I'm just going to see what happens, right? Go as far as I can. So literally, the day of the race, I'm limping to the start line. My fellow competitors are looking at me like, are you kidding? But I was determined. I was at least going to start it and see what happened. So I did the swim, did great in the swim. And I get on the bike, and I was hurting, to be sure. And I was very slow. And I basically pedaled with one leg for 112 miles. I mean, even up and down the hills. And I finished the bike. Well, I hadn't seen my husband yet. And I thought, oh, dear God, did he drown in the Ohio River? Because normally, he would have passed me on the bike. He's pretty fast. And I hadn't seen him yet. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord. Well, I'm coming out of the transition tent from the bike to the run, and lo and behold, there he was, and I was so relieved. And I said, oh, thank God you're here. All right, well, you go ahead, good luck, because I knew he'd just killed the marathon. He's great at that. And he said, no, wait for me. Let's at least start the marathon together. And I actually have a picture of the 2 of us starting the marathon together, which, if you don't mind bringing that up, you guys have to check this out. So we start the marathon together, and of course I'm walking. There's no way that I can run. Can you see that? I don't know, the lights are kind of bright, but you get the idea. And I had this huge cyst on the back of my knee, so my knee's bent, so I'm walking the marathon like this. Not very fast, but I thought I'm just gonna go as far as I can. And I keep telling him, you need to go, you need to run, finish this race, right? And he's like, I'm fine, I got plenty of time. We got all the way to mile 12. And he looked at his watch and he said, honey, you need to stop. He said, there's no way at this pace you're ever going to finish under 17 hours. You're going to end up finishing tomorrow morning. You're probably going to be in an ambulance headed to a hospital. I mean, really, it's not worth it. And I knew he was right, so I said, okay, I'll stop. I was going to stop at mile 13 because it was a double loop course, so mile 13 would be right near the finish line, and I knew I had family and friends, people there who would take care of me. But I said, you've got to go. You've got to finish this race. Yeah. I'm fine. I'll just stay with you. And I said, no, you're finishing the race. And I insisted. And so I pushed him away and off he went. Well, then I started crying. I was just so disappointed. I couldn't do the Ironman. I was in all this pain, and not just a little cry like Oprah calls it the ugly cry, And again, my fellow competitors are like, this woman has lost it. But anyway, as I'm crying and I'm getting toward mile 13, I see this guy running toward me. And I'm thinking, what is this idiot doing? The race is going this way, it's salmon swimming upstream. He gets closer and I realize it's John. It's my husband. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go, you've got to finish this race. And he's smiling. And I said, come on, what is wrong with you? Go, you've got to turn around and go. And I wouldn't shut up, and he finally said, be quiet. And he put his hands on my shoulders. And he looked at me and said, don't you get it? He said, I don't care about a medal. I don't care about finishing this race. He said, all I care about is you. I want to make sure that you're okay and you finish, you get back safely. I got to get you to the hotel room and get you ice bags. That's all I care about. It's just a stupid race. I got a drawer full of medals. And after that happened, I had to sit with it for a while. But I really started thinking about it, and I thought, what an amazing thing to do. Because this is an athlete. This is a guy who wouldn't quit for anything. But he cared enough to do that for me, and the way it made me feel was amazing. And it taught me this lesson, and this is the one I want to share. And probably you already know this, and you got to this a lot sooner than I am, but I guess I'm stubborn and stupid because I didn't get it for a while. But real success in life and real happiness in life is not about what you've achieved, the medals you've earned, the money you make, the things you've accomplished. It's not about any of that, really. Happiness and success in life is all about who you've helped, how you've touched someone, how you've made their life better, how you've made it easier, maybe how you've lifted them up and how you've given them hope. That is what success and happiness truly are all about. And that's not to say it's not important to earn money. As John always likes to say, we have bills and babies. That's important. And it's good to have goals and accomplish things and achieve things and win stuff, or I guess, but it's not the most important thing. You know, I really believe that at the end of our lives, when we're laying there on our deathbeds surrounded by family and friends, we're going to think about the people, the relationships, family, and those we've helped. That's what it's all about. And the really cool thing, which I'm sure all of you figured out, again, way before I did, is that when you give of yourself, and you do it for the right reasons, not because you're going to be recognized or win an award or somebody's going to see you and pat you on the back, you know, you're doing it because it's the right thing to do, and it comes from that pure good place in your heart because you want to make a difference and help someone. When you do that, and you put forth that positive energy, it comes back to you. Isn't that the awesome part? Don't you love that? You know, I call it karma. Everybody knows karma, that cosmic principle, that oversimplifying here, but you put out good and the good comes back. Some people call it cause and effect. Some people call it the golden rule, you know, do unto others, pay it forward. I've heard it called that before too, but whatever you refer to it as. I think Oprah, on one of her life classes, she does one on Newton's third law of motion, which I love, which is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's karma, right? Anyway, good comes back to you, and you are rewarded, and you are cared for by the universe, by God, whatever you call the greater power. It comes back to you. And isn't that a beautiful thing? And the best part of all, and I can't remember, what was your definition of philanthropy, the Greek definition? Loving mankind is the definition of philanthropy. Here's the cool part. It's not just about giving money. And when I was young, that's what I thought. If I heard somebody was a philanthropist, to me that meant, well, they had blue hair and they had a lot of money. That's not a philanthropist. A philanthropist is someone who's loving mankind. Now, if you can give money, terrific. My goodness, these wonderful nonprofits and places that do such great work, they need money to continue their great mission, of course. So if you have that to give, fantastic. If not, there's so many other things that you can give that matter so much. Your time, your energy, your talent, your wisdom, your encouragement, your enthusiasm, your spirit, your love, your kindness, your caring, or something as simple as a hug or a smile. I challenge all of you in this room today, in the next day or two or week, find someone who's having a really crappy day. They're easy to identify, aren't they? Find that person. They could be a stranger or maybe someone that you know, and just put your hand on their shoulder, put your hand on their hand, and just say, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help you? If you need to talk, I'm here for you." Something simple like that can make such a big difference. Or a smile to a stranger, open the door, whatever. Put out that kindness and it comes back and it radiates and it makes this world just a much, much better place. I know I'm preaching to the choir, and frankly, I'm so impressed with some of the great work so many of you in this room have done. And I want to thank you so much for all the great work that you've done, and challenge you to just keep it going. Keep up the great work. And I thank you so much for letting me come and share with you today. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I have one more little item of business, but John, you can hang out with me up here if you want to. I've gotten permission from your wonderful folks here, Betsy and the others, to do a little shameless self-promotion. A couple of years ago, I became, oops, these AV people hate me right now. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, a couple of years ago, I became an author, which is a stretch because I didn't write an entire book. I wrote a chapter of a book called The Power of the Platform. I was invited along with some other motivational speakers to contribute a chapter. And there's some big names on here like Les Brown and Jack Canfield, you know, the Chicken Soup for the Soul guy. And each author contributed just a little bit of words of wisdom and inspiration, I guess. My chapter, coincidentally, is called Boost Your Karma. And I'm selling copies of it in the back of the room. On Amazon, they're $20 a piece, so that's what I'm selling them for. And I'm going to give the proceeds to JDRF, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, trying to find a cure for type 1 diabetes. And thank you, that's nice. And I appreciate so much that Betsy and her committee also made a contribution to JDRF. I appreciate that. I'm involved with a group called Ride for a Cure, where we raise money for JDRF and type 1 diabetes research, and then we go out and do a 100-mile bike ride in these cool places around the country. So I'm raising money for my 2014 ride. So if you are so inclined, I'll be in the back of the room when we wrap up here. I'm happy to sign a copy if you like. $20 cash or check, because I'm not sophisticated enough to do credit cards yet. But I do have a website, CamiDurking.com, and so if you do want to go on there and use a credit card, you can do that. So thank you again so much, and it was great to see you all. Thank you. I'm going to take my medals, even though the material, I love them.
She took the medals. I was going to hold it. Look what I did. I am shallow enough to do that. Yeah, I remember when I biked that 112 miles, you know, yeah, I remember, oh, yeah, I stretched a little bit. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Cami. Let me tell you a little story about Cami. Cami says she has recently learned these lessons. She's been doing this kind of stuff forever. Women who work in TV get really nasty messages from people. You know, I mean, just mean-spirited kind of, you cut your hair, you're going to the devil. This kind of stuff. Just really mean-spirited emails and that sort of thing. And every single letter that she would get like that, every single email, she would write back the sweetest thing. I'm saying, we can hunt these people down and kill them. if you would like, yeah, I'll be happy to do it for you. And she would say, no. And she would send out a very pleasant, very nice letter or email back to them. And every one of them would reply with their tail between their legs. Just absolutely. Kill them with kindness. I mean, it really does work. It really does work. I got a couple of people I like to kill other ways, but, you know, kindness is the only legal way, the only thing that's going to keep me out of jail. Anyway, that's my girl. I love her. Okay. Now I'd like to recognize the young people here today. That you have no doubt had the pleasure of meeting as they welcomed you, helped you to your table, or refilled your drinks, quite pleasantly too, with big smiles and everything. Yes, they are. Let me tell you who they are. They can come on up this way. They are youth philanthropy members at 3 of our community foundations. At this time, I would like the members of the Community Foundation of Westchester Liberty's Youth and Philanthropy group to step forward, the members of the Hamilton Community's Youth Philanthropy Committee to come forward, and the members of the Middletown Community Foundation's Youth Advisory Council to please step forward. Do I have everybody here? All right, give them a big hand. You did outstanding. outstanding charitable work here today, helping all of us to feel comfortable, to be comfortable, and that sort of thing. And as soon as she finishes taking pictures, I want you to get out of here and go back to school. No, thank you so much. You all have just made this even more pleasant experience. So thank you all. And thanks once again to today's sponsors. They are the gold level sponsors, Kramer and Associates, First Financial Bank, Mercy Health Fairfield Hospital, Miami University Oxford, Miami University Regionals. The silver level sponsors, AK Steel, the Atrium Foundation, Bridgewater Falls Lifestyle Shopping Center, McCullough Hyde Memorial Hospital, and U.S. Bank. We'd like to thank them all for their support of the luncheon this year. And also thanks to TV Hamilton for taping this event and sharing it with the other hometown cable channels in the county. I look forward to air in the coming weeks. And once again, thanks to all of you nonprofits working to make Butler County just a wonderful and better place. And to those honorees, they do the heavy lifting, don't they? For your contributions in making this work possible. Have a great day. Oh, thank you. They help me out too. Whenever I do these and people want to like help out some charity that I'm associated with, I usually say either the American Heart Association or Children's Hospital or the American Diabetes Association, and they help me with a contribution to the American Heart Association. So thank you so much. All right, take care.
Doing cards and friends with it.
Well, it's good seeing you again. Well, that probably started in January of 2007.